why your relationship isn't working and what to do about it. Okay, so I see this coming up so much in conversations within our neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and breakthrough coaching course. And mainly when people are going through that section, they come to me after and they say, like, I can't believe how much of an impact this is having on my relationship and this is having on my life. And that's just one of the elements that we train in our neuro-linguistic training. Hello. So as always, I'm Rebecca Lockwood, your neuro-linguistic programming trainer, hypnosis trainer and breakthrough coach trainer. And I am super excited to be diving into why your relationship isn't working and what to do about it. So I'm live over on Instagram, hello, at the same time as on Facebook. So if I'm not looking in your direction, that's the reason why I'm not being rude. So I see this come up so much within our neuro-linguistic programming practitioner course, where people will come to me and say, I've just been through that content around how to speak and how to communicate with people, and I've realised in my relationship I've not been doing this effectively. And so I just wanted to share with you some really powerful things that you can make sure you're doing in your relationship if it's not working, and what you can do about it, really. So this is really helpful for relationships with like your partner, with with your husband or your wife, but also in relationships in general. So it could be a relationship with a parent or a sibling or a best friend. So although I am kind of talking about this in the context of, your partner or your husband or wife, it can really be used in relationships all round. So I see this coming up all the time within our course, and it can be for a number of reasons: lack of communication, lack of gratitude, focusing on flaws instead of being grateful. These are the kinds of things and some of the things that kind of cause this to happen. Because, when you've been in a relationship for a long time, sometimes we forget about the things that get us excited, right? And sometimes we forget about what it was like in the start, and we forget about, making each other laugh and trying to impress each other. And we forget about why we were excited and motivated to make each other happy in the first place. And we lose that need or that sense of impress, right? We lose that sense of trying to impress our partners or potential partners, right? Because at that point, if you've been with somebody for a while, we've kind of lost that. And we may describe it as losing the spark, for example. Lost that spark. We hear people say things like this, or they're just not getting me. We just don't get each other, right? And, this is quite normal. It's quite natural to happen. And these are the reasons why it happens. And these are the things that you can do to support yourself in this situation as well. Now, often we forget that happiness is an inside job, right? Happiness is an inside job. It is our personal responsibility to make ourselves happy, and we forget about this because when we first find ourselves in a relationship, it can really spark this excitement and fulfillment and happiness within us. And then when we become more comfortable in our relationships, we kind of forget about that. But what we also forget is that happiness is an inside job, and it's often that we're still expecting something outside of ourselves to make us happy, such as another person, our partner, or whatever. And it's always an inside job, right? Happiness is always an inside job. So here are a few reasons why you might not currently be feeling happy in your relationships at the moment and what to do about it. So the first thing is you're not really communicating, right? You're not really communicating, and you are mind reading based on your own model of the world. When you're communicating with your partner, are you really listening? Are you really listening? Yeah. Are you really listening, or are you putting your own version of what they're saying into your mind, right? Are you really listening to what is being said, or are you putting your own perception and your own meaning to the words that are being used? Are you even listening to the words that are being used? So for example, Neil, my husband, who works with us in the business now, thankfully. Now before that, in fact, a couple of years ago now, he worked driving trucks, right? And he was getting up really early in the morning, and he was getting back from work, and he was really tired, right? He was getting up at like 4 a.m. to go to work, and by the time he got home, he was tired, right? He was really tired, and I'd be excited. I'm a really I'm a really excitable person, so he'd come home and I'd be like, "Hi babe, how you doing? Have you had a good day?" Right? And I'd be really excited to see him, and I'd be really, happy to greet him. And the guy was tired, right? So he'd come in and I'd be like, "Hi babe, have you had a good day? How's your day been? What did you get for your dinner?" And I'm bombarding with all these questions, and the poor guy was tired, right? So he might respond in a way that was just like, "Yeah, it's all right," and then he'd want to go and sit down and have a cup of tea and just sit down and just chill out. So what I did was jump to these conclusions, which ended up in negative thoughts in my head, which was like, have I done something to upset him? Do I look ugly? Does this dress make me look fat? What have I done wrong? Yeah, what have I said to upset him? All of these kinds of things that I would jump to a conclusion. Now, the truth is, the guy was tired, right? And he just walked in from work, and that was it. There was nothing else to it. There was no other meaning to it. There was no other communication from it. It was literally just that the guy had come home from work, he was tired, and he wanted to go and sit down, right? And that was it. And so often we do this, right? So often we do this where we might have a conversation with somebody, and then we put our own meaning to what is being said in this conversation. Now, we need to remember, are we listening to the words that are being used? Are we listening to the words that are being used, right? Where in your relationships are you jumping to conclusions and mind reading the communication instead of just taking what's being said, right? A really good way to remember this is just think, has it been said in the sentence? Right? Has it been said in the sentence? So, for example, when Neil got home from work, did he say in the sentence, "Babe, that dress don't look right"? No. Did I say it to myself? Yes. Right? So I was just jumping to conclusions and mind reading what I took for that communication to mean based on my perception. That was nothing to do with him, it was to do with me. Okay? So the first thing we need to remember is, are you really communicating? Are you mind reading what is being meant by the communication, or are you actually listening to what is being said in the sentence? Number 2, you're focusing on the things that are not there instead of the things that are, right? So when we focus on the things that are missing instead of the things that are actually there, we're going to naturally feel like we need more because we're not being grateful for what we already have, right? I want you to take some time to think about all the things that your partner does that you're really happy with, things that you're really happy about, and make sure you're spending more time focusing on the things that you're happy with and the things that you're grateful for than the things that you're not. So, for example, if you came downstairs one morning and there was cups on the side from your partner and you were thinking to yourself, "Oh God, they never wash up. Oh God, they never do this," and then it starts to spiral, doesn't it? "Oh, well, they never do this either, and they don't do that, and they don't do this, and they don't do this, and they don't do that. And they never tell me that they love me," right? Well, where did that come from? But this is what happens, right? So we need to make sure that instead of thinking, "Oh, they've left this there," and da-da-da, instead of doing that, just flip it around and think, "Oh, well, what have they actually done? Okay, well, they did this, and that made me feel good, and they did this, and that was really helpful, and they did this, and they've got this. Oh, and they've got nice eyes." Right? So instead of focusing on the things that are not there, start focusing on the things that are there and start being really grateful for what is already in the situation rather than trying to focus on the lack and the things that are not there, because when we focus on the things that are not there, we're naturally going to want more things, right? Okay, number 3, you're not meeting each other's love strategy. You're not meeting each other's love strategy. So what this means is that everybody has a different way that they feel loved. So for example, some people feel loved by being told, "I love you." Other people feel loved by a cuddle, right? Or touching. Like, so for example, your partner may come home, touch you on your arm, "Hi babe," or on your shoulder, "Hi babe, how are you doing? Have you had a good day?" Other people might feel loved by being bought flowers. I was imagining I had a bunch of flowers in my hand when I did that. Other people might feel loved by acts of love. So for example, buying flowers, buying presents, or doing the dishes, or helping out with certain things that may go above and beyond just the natural help around the home, right? So you need to really understand what your partner's love strategy is, because when you understand your partner's love strategy, you'll be able to meet that love strategy, so to ensure that they feel loved, but also to tell them how you feel loved, right? So for example, I know that I love being bought flowers, right? I love being bought flowers. And when my husband buys me flowers, it makes me feel loved. Now, I also know that he doesn't like flowers, and he actually says that he thinks they're pointless. So if I don't tell him to buy me flowers, he's not going to buy me flowers. But I'm very aware that my love strategy is that I like to see flowers, right? So by communicating that to my partner, it means that my love strategy can be met. And also by having a conversation about what his love strategy is, I can ensure that his love strategy is being met as well. So remember, it goes both ways. It's okay for you to think, well, my love strategy is not being met, but are you meeting your partner's love strategy? Probably not if you're feeling unsatisfied in your relationship. So you got to remember, it goes both ways. So just having a conversation, just by asking, what do I have to do in order for you to feel loved? Yeah, just asking that question. And it might feel a bit uncomfortable when you first ask it, but trust me, when you know the answer to that question and you fulfill that, you will feel so much more satisfied in life and in your relationship, because you will feel loved because your partner will be matching your love strategy, but also your partner will feel loved because you'll be making sure that their love strategy is being met as well. Okay, and number 4, you are expecting them to do something and you're not taking personal responsibility. Yeah, remember I said happiness is an inside job. This is what I mean. Like, happiness is an inside job. Yeah, like things outside of ourselves can help us to feel happy and satisfied, like another person, right? But actually, it's our job to ensure that we're feeling satisfied. So, for example, eliciting your partner's love strategy and reminding your partner of your love strategy. So for example, every single week I say to Neil, when he goes into the shopping or when he goes to Aldi, I'll say, babe, grab me a bunch of flowers while you're there, please. Simple as that. Yeah. Babe, can I have a cuddle, please? Right? Because I know that I love to get flowers, but I also know that I like a cuddle as well. Babe, can I have a cuddle, please? Right? So I'm taking personal responsibility. Like, he may not want, like, his love strategy is different to mine. So he may not think, oh, I need to give her a cuddle to make her feel loved, because that's not how people think who don't have that love strategy. And it's not that they're not wanting to cuddle you. It's not that they're not wanting to love you. It's not anything to do with that. It's just because it's not their love strategy. It's nothing personal. Nothing personal to you, doesn't mean anything. It just means it's not the way that they feel loved, so they don't ever think to do it because it's not their love strategy. So by me saying, babe, can I have a cuddle? Babe, can I have a cuddle? Can you tell me you love me? Right? I'm being responsible for my own love strategy. Okay, so it's really important to remember that happiness is an inside job, and although things outside of ourselves can help and support us, like our relationships, it's also our jobs to ensure personally that our love strategy is being met. For example, that we're focusing on the things that are there rather than the things that are not there, that we're communicating in our relationships and with our partners in a way that's not mind reading and jumping to conclusions, because that's not going to help anybody, and you only put in your own meaning to the communication, right? So remember, it's an inside job, and you just need to perhaps sometimes keep reminding them. So I've realised now, after months of saying, babe, buy me some flowers when you go to a shop, I don't need to say it every time anymore, because sometimes he'll just come home with them now, right? It's brilliant. So we need to remember that we need to keep reminding ourselves and our partners in our relationships, or the people that we're having relationships with, whether it's our family member or a partner or a friend, that it's our job to remind people of this and to communicate effectively, because it's never that people don't want to do things. It's just that we all think differently, and because of that, we don't always bear in mind other people's methods of communication, other people's love strategies, for example. So just remembering to say, hey, remember to send me a text and check in with me. Yeah. Okay, so that's it from me today. I just wanted to share that with you because it's been so powerful for me in my life, and I know our students get a lot of value from it as well. So that was all about why your relationship isn't working and what to do about it. And we do have our free training, Change Your Mind, Change Your Life, which is so powerful. If you're on Instagram with me, you can find the link in the bio. And if you're on Facebook with me, you can find the link in the description, whatever direction it's in, in the description, in the notes. And also, if you want to have a chat through our neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and breakthrough coaching course, and you've got any questions about that, just pop me a message. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch up with you all soon.